Hello and welcome again to this Twitter series. In this video, we are going to build our remaining like tweet feature and then we are going to implement our bookmark functionality. So let's build. So as you can see, this is our project and here is our app. If you refresh this, all of our tweets are being rendered nicely. But here you can see some white background is here. So we want to remove this white background. So for that, I will go to in the layout and here in the HTML, what I will do, I will make the whole background black. So now I think this is still not black. So let's inspect the element and see what is this. So we can then debug this thing. So if we try to make it hidden, so we can say what is the property? It's hidden, sticky, and then after Excel it is flexed. Yeah, so it's good, but I think the hidden property Tailwind. So I use Tailwind so much that I forgot what is the visible property. So it is not visible. I am more into, okay, so let's give it visibility. Let's make it hidden. So now you can see there is no white background, but this is the problem of this container. If we remove this, you can see there is some white background at the bottom. So I think we can give it the class name of let's give it background color of black. No, it's not working. Or let's give it overflow of hidden. Yeah. This is working. So what we need to do is remove this thing, go to the right section, and here what we need to do, we are giving it height of screen. So let's cut this part. Now it is not sticky because we should give it some fixed height to make it sticky. Okay. So instead of giving H screen, we can give it 90 of the viewport. Yeah. Now it's sticky and it's good. 90 viewport. But I'm worried about this white thing and it is because of the overflow X property. So what we can do, we can give it overflow hidden and only the X overflow is hidden. So now you can see this is gone, but it's scrollable. It is so instead of overflow Y overflow scroll, we can say overflow Y auto. So when this is bigger, so the white will be there, otherwise now this is good. So when we try to make it large, so now it is scrollable and it's good, but when the screen is bigger and the content is inside the container, so every content, so now it is working. So now it's looking good. So where we want to implement our like functionality, we want to show all the likes. So there are some different approaches how we can show the likes on our timeline. So the first approach is fetch all the likes with the post. So let's assume this is our post and count all the likes and show here. So how many likes this tweet has. So we will fetch the likes count with the post when we are fetching the post from our database. The other method is fetch all the likes on each separate post. But what I'm worried about, if you fetch for each post, you have to send a lot of API requests to your database, and which is not a good idea. So we will reduce our API request number and we will fetch the likes count with our post. So what I'm saying is let's implement that. So if you go to the main component, this is our server component and here we are getting the tweets. And the other thing we want to improve is this is Supabase and this is get tweets. Instead of get tweets, we can rename this to functions or queries or two different things. So we can make two different things. So this is for queries, yes. And then what we can do, we can cut this thing because this is a mutation. This is a database mutation. So inside Supabase, create a new field called mutation. So we are separating out queries and mutation. Now this is good. Okay. And the other thing is, if you go to the queries, this is also use server and this is also use server. That's okay. But I am worried that we can export this also. We can, in the utils, not in the utils, we can create a index.ts and we can export our Supabase server. For that, we also need these things. In the index.ts, we can import and then we can import the Supabase client as well. And for the fix, we can do as string and as string Supabase server client. So this is a Supabase server library. Okay, so let's name this Supabase server. This is good. So now we can use this thing over here. So we can remove all of these. We can import like this Supabase server from here and we can import the random UUID from crypto. Save this thing. This is good. And we need to do that here also. So we'll remove the unused code and we will import everything what we need. So now it's much cleaner approach. You can save this. Now we have queries and we have mutations. So if you want to fetch something, we will define here. And if you want to insert some data or update some data, we will define here all the functions. So now if you go here, if we refresh, everything is working as it was working previously. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to fetch the likes count with all the tweets we are fetching. Now what we can do, we are saying that give me all the profiles as well, but we want to join the likes table as well. So if we go to our Supabase dashboards, so let's go to Supabase project, let's go to Twitter clone, and here is over all the tables. So we want to join the likes table as well. So here we are saying that give me the profiles which is related to the tweets. So here are our tweets, and we are saying that, okay, so remove this filter. We are saying that this is the profile ID and give me this profile ID, or give me the profile of the user who has made or who has submitted this tweet. We want to also attach like who is liking our tweet. Okay, so we want to query the count also. So for that we have to look for the documentation. So inside API docs, here we can see how to get that. We can also paginate. We will do this at the end of our course. What we will do, we will fetch only a few tweets for once, and then when the user scrolls down, we will fetch more tweets. So read a specific column, some column, other table, foreign key, good. But other table is tweets, and we want to with filtering. Okay, so we can, this is how we can filter. Also insert a row, insert menu, update, subscribe to changes, read foreign tables. So this is what we want to do. Let's assume we have a likes table, then we can fetch who has liked this tweet or which tweet is this. So we can fetch the detail, but we want to do from another direction. So let's try this, comma, and we will say likes table, and in the likes table, let's go here, and the foreign key is, I think, the ID. Okay, so let's do it like that, and we will see what it is giving to us or what we are getting. So const, if we are getting any error or something, I think this will not work, but let's try. If we were using Prisma or some overrun, that's another thing, but let's see what it gives to us. Data and error, return data. Yeah, column tweets dot likes does not exist. Yeah, we know that's good, because the problem is we have tweets. So let me make you understand. So we have tweets. Inside tweets, we have a foreign key user ID. So we can fetch the user details or the author of the tweet. Fetch the author details who tweeted this tweet. On the other hand, we have our likes table. Inside we have two foreign keys. We have user ID and we have tweet ID. So from this side we can fetch the tweet detail and as well as the user detail. I want to do it in one query, so we can make two queries, but I don't want to make two queries. Let's see how to achieve that. So here is the thing. We can't directly fetch the count of the tweets which is related to directly tweets. So here we can't say that give me all the likes of this tweet or give me all the count like that. We can't do that because we are not using an ORM. This is something which Supabase offers us to fetch all the things. So what we can do now, we have to fetch the tweet count for every single tweet. So here we can define a single function, get likes count. This is how, and we can define it will accept a single tweet ID. So tweet ID, which is string, and it will return the count of the likes for this tweet. So we can say return await Supabase server dot from, and which is the likes table. Give me all the count of the tables where we can say the equal, we can say the tweet ID is equal to the tweet ID. So now it will return. So first let's console.log, or we can directly log this thing. Yeah, so const result, we can console.log result, and we can return this as well. So this thing we will use inside our get likes count. So if you go to the tweet component, this is our tweet, and this is a client use client. So this is a client function, or you can say the client component. This is complaining that, okay, because this is the query and we have to import it from mutation. So now we have mutation. So inside the client component, you can't define a server components. That's the thing. That's one thing we have to remember. But inside a server component, we can have a client component. So now we have here a new problem, which is this is our server component. You can see this is our server thing. This is a server function. We can't fetch directly using this function on the client. So that's why we need to define some more components. So instead of doing this a use client, we will do this is a use server component. That's why we can't define a use state here. So we have to remove the use state, and we will cut this thing. We will define another component which is like button.tsx, and this is a client component. Finally, this is the final client component we need, and it is a like button. Simple. So we will cut this whole thing. We will paste here because we can define use state inside our client component. Import the use browser Supabase client as well. Cool. And then we can cut the whole thing from here and we can paste it here. This thing also we can cut from here, paste here, import the like tweet, import the toast, import this, and that's good. Tweet.id, so it will accept some props. So we can say like button props, and we will define the props type, which is tweet ID, which is string, and here we will say this is our tweet ID. And instead of doing tweet ID and tweet ID, we can simply do this tweet ID. Save the whole thing. Here we will import our like button and we will pass down the tweet ID, which is tweet.id, like that. Save this thing, remove these functions, also this one, we don't need this. And now this is a server component and we can fetch all the details of the tweet here. So if we go to our application, you can refresh this and it should work as expected. Like this tweet and it should work. In the likes table, we have 3 likes now. Good. So here we will fetch the tweets. So we can say const get tweet likes count is equal to get likes count. And here we will pass the tweet.id like that. And now it will give us the like count. So we can console.log and we can find out what is this. So if we go here, if we refresh this, we will get a lot of things. Okay, so here you can search for a foreign key relation between likes and count in the schema, but no matches were found. Okay. So we did some mistake. So it is assuming that it is a count table and give me all the, okay, this is not we want. So instead of this, so we can find out how to count rows, Supabase client, how to get count star. Okay, so we can pass down the count exec. We can say give me all the rows and we can define things here. We can define count and which is true. Now if we, what it is, okay, no, it doesn't accept true, it accepts estimate exact plant. So we can say exact. So it will return us the exact count of a single tweet. So you can see count is 1. We can remove this thing. We don't need any data. We need only count. Okay, so we need something. So instead of that, we can just say we need only ID. So now we are getting something. So this tweet has 1. This tweet has 0 count. This tweet has 1. This tweet has, yeah. So we are getting the tweet count now and we can show the tweet count over there. So here we can define the returns type as well. We can say what we are getting. We are getting the ID and we are getting the count. So, okay, so let's not define the type here. We can directly render over count, get tweet likes count here, because we don't need to worry about the ID. This is just for the purpose of like we need something, that's why we are getting that. And where is our like button? So here we can pass the count, likes count as well. Likes count is equal to get likes count dot. So it is a promise basically. We have to await this. That's why we are getting a lot of things there. So now this is good. Dot get likes, get tweet likes count. This is what we need. So it is dot. You can see we have count. So we can pass down the count. And if we go here, we can see this is a number and we can show the likes count here near to the button like this. Likes count. Here we have our likes count. Okay, so it is saying it can be null as well. So we will say in the likes, it can be null as well. So if this is null, if the count, likes count is null, then it shows 0. Save this thing. If we go to our application and now we can see 1 like and 0 like, 0 like, 1 like. That's cool. And it is sending too much requests to the server. But this is okay because this is the only choice we have if we use Supabase client.js library. If you are using an ORM, then it will be much easier task for you. You can directly join the tables and you can do a lot of things. Now in the like count here, we want to define it in 1 line, or what I'm saying is flex item center like this, and we can give it some space x2, and we can, yeah, this is looking much like Twitter. So if we go to Twitter, so you can see we have the tweet likes after this, so this is what we need. We can make it bigger a little bit. Class name is W5, H5. Yeah, that's good. That's looking good. And now we need to do one more thing. We need to find out that if the user who is currently logged in is liked or not. If the user who is logged in, if liked the tweet, then we will show the red heart. So in the queries, here we are getting the likes count. So here we can also get export const get is liked. If the tweet is liked or not, async, and we can get the tweet ID, and we just need to find out that if this row exists or not in the database. If this row exists with the tweet ID this and the user ID is this, then we will show the header. Otherwise we will not show the header. This is tweet ID, it is string, and user ID, it is also a string. Then here we can return. We just need to do the same thing here, copy it, paste here. From likes, select ID, count exactly. We don't need the count, we need only if this is liked or not. We can remove the count. You can say tweet ID is this and dot equal, we can say the user ID is user ID. So now it will find the tweet, or if it will find a row which satisfy these both parameters, tweet ID and user ID. Save this thing and we can fetch this detail here. Const is liked. So if user is liked, so is liked, and import from library, and here we will pass down the tweet ID as well, tweet.id, and here we will pass down the user ID. So now we don't have the user ID. So what we need to do, we need to find out the user ID. Then we can only know that if this is liked or not, right? So for that, we need to create a server thing, const Supabase server is equal to Supabase, not this thing, Supabase auth client, create server Supabase client. This thing we need, the exact thing which we have used to compose our tweet. So if you go to the compose tweet server component, here you can find out we have used this thing. So there's thing we need. Copy this, paste here, Supabase client, Supabase server component, Supabase client. Import this, import cookies and headers so that we know who is logged in currently. Import this from next headers because it's a server component. Now we have Supabase client and it has the user details. Auth dot, this is how user data, Supabase client, auth, get user. So these two things we need here. So it will find out the user and we will see. Or the other thing what we can do, go to because it will fetch the details of the user each time a tweet is rendered. Instead of doing this, we can get the user details here only one time and we can pass down the whole thing over here. Cut this whole thing, paste it here. So we only getting the user details one time, or we are sending the API request only one time. This is what it means. So yeah, so now we can pass down to Twitter. Now we can pass down the user ID. So this is our tweet, user data is equal to, or you can say the user ID is equal to user data dot user dot ID, like this. And if we go into the tweet, here we can accept the user ID as string. We can say current user ID. So it is much clearer. What is this? Can pass down the current user ID like that. Current user ID. So it is saying that it can be undefined. So we will do this. We can make a question mark here and here, but now we have problem. This is saying that it can be undefined or it can be null. So if we will go to is liked and we will define some custom logic here. We will say user ID can be undefined. So we will say if user ID is not available, then just return this whole thing just like this. So now it is good. Save this whole thing. Save this also if user has liked. So now we will console.log what it is giving to us. Console.log is user has liked, and in the queries, instead of directly returning, we can return that user hasn't liked this. Otherwise, we can find out if this is exist or not, and we can return a true here. So const data error, not this error. We can also say that single. The user can only like single time. Nice, and we can say if data dot ID exists, then return, we can directly return if use data.id exists. We can say boolean data.id. So if this exists, then this is the tweet is liked by the current user, otherwise it doesn't liked by the current user. So now if you can see, this is a boolean and we will get if the user is liked or not. So now here you can see false, true, false, false, false. Yeah, this is the whole thing. So true means we have liked this tweet, false means we don't have liked this tweet. Cool. So now we just need to show this over here. We will pass down this thing is user has liked, and in the like button we will get this detail over here, which is a boolean, and if this is liked, then show the red heart. Or we can import the cn library over here. So do this, import the cn helper, which will merge all the Tailwind classes. We can say if is user has liked, then show the color of red. So we can say text rows. Yeah, now let's see. No, it is So we need to find out a good component. So we can show here SVG element. So React icons. So heart icon, where is this? Yeah. So AI fill heart, whichever you want, you can use. So what I'm saying is AI fill heart. If user has liked, then show this fill heart. Otherwise, show this thing. This is simple, and we can remove this thing. We can use the same here, and we can say text is red 600. Let's try this. Refresh this whole thing. Okay, now we are not able to see if it is. We can use the fill property. I think fill from the color. Let's give it black for some time, because we have already liked this. This should show a like here, but it is not showing. Why is this? Console.log. Let's see. So it is giving us undefined. Why is that? If user has liked. Okay, we haven't saved this. Save this. Now refresh this. Okay, so refresh this again. Now you can see we have some black or true or false here. Good. Now it is working. Remove this fill. Yeah. So now it is red and we have liked this tweet. You can see this is good. If you hit refresh, it will show that we have liked this tweet and this is good. But we want to remove this like. Okay, so what I'm saying is we also want to implement the unlike feature. So in the queries, in the mutation, so like tweet, here we can do the same thing, unlike tweet. Unlike tweet, the same thing, which will just delete the tweet from the database. Supabase server from likes.delete .equal. Don't forget to use this equal, otherwise it will delete the whole table. You should be careful doing this. And we can say the like, which is the like row. So we can say the ID is like ID. We don't need these two things. We just need like ID. Like ID, which is a string. So now it will delete from likes table. It will delete a single like from our database. We can remove this. We can also remove this. Or we can, if we have got any error, we will get any error in the future, then we want to debug that also. That's why we are console.logging everything. So now unlike tweet, we just need to do one thing here. So when this button is clicked, when we get this user, then we just need to do one thing. If the user has liked, so we can say if user has liked, then unlike, otherwise like. Import this, it will accept like ID, and the like ID is, so we should also get the like ID from our table, or otherwise we can do one thing. We can do one thing instead of deleting it from using the like ID. What we can do the same thing. The tweet ID is tweet ID, and like this, the user ID is user ID, like this, same as this. So now we have user ID and tweet ID, and we are using this here. So delete this row where tweet ID is this and user ID is this. Simple. So we can pass down the same thing as here. Good. Now it is good. Also here we are getting the user, but we don't need it. We can pass down into the component. But if you don't want to pass down as a props, so what I'm saying, if you go to the tweet component, here we are getting the current user ID. So we can pass down this current user ID into the like button, and here we can use it directly instead of getting the user again. But that's totally up to you. We can remove that thing. And when this tweet is liked, we want to refresh. We want to refresh the like count. So what we need to do is we can revalidate this thing. So we can revalidate this tweet component. So how we can do that? So we will find out. So refresh this for now. If you go to the likes table, you can see we have 3 likes, 1, 2, and 3. If we click here, the like is removed. Now you can see the like is removed, but here the like is not updated. We have to refresh the page, find out, okay, so this is updated. If we click here, not updated, but here you can see this is gone, and here this will also go on. But because we are changing our window, that's why it is being refreshed. But if we do it here again, if we click the like button, this is created a row, but it is not refreshed. So we want to refresh this. For that, what should we do? So I think we have something. Yeah, it is liked, but we want to refresh it instantly. So now for the simplification purpose, you can devalidate the whole page, but this is not recommended. The another way is just update the UI, optimistic update. So user click on the like button, and this will be updated the row inside your database. So update the UI, that's all. So this is called optimistic update. So we are optimistic that this tweet is successfully liked, or the user has inserted a row into our like table successfully, and we are sure of that. So when this is successfully done, you can directly directly update your UI. Or another way is revalidate the whole page, which is not recommended, but we are going to do here. Revalidate the whole page. just like it. When user like or dislike the tweet, revalidate the whole page. So now here, if we refresh the page, everything is good. But if we click on this, you can see this is gone. Here, if we like this tweet is liked. If we remove this is removed. So now it is working like charm. So now only one tweet is liked, and which is liked by us. We can remove this by clicking on this. It is removed, and you can see this row is removed. If we like this tweet, again a row will be inserted and this tweet is liked. Let's log into a different account and see if it is can be liked by multiple accounts. So let's do that also. So this is my other account, and you can see this is asking me for liking the tweet. So here we can see this is liked but not liked by us. So if I try to, so you can see we need to log in. So for that, if we hit refresh, it will ask us to sign in. So let's sign in. I will put my email ytblogs.app@gmail.com. I will put my email ytblogs.app. It is my recent product which generates blogs, Twitter search from any YouTube video. So I'm using this demo. So let's log in. So I think it has sent me the login link. Let's see. Yeah, so I have received my request and I will confirm my email. And now I think I'm signed in. Yeah, so if I try to like, I can like this tweet, and now if I like this has 2 likes and this is good. And here I am, and if I hit refresh, you can see we have 2 likes now. If I like this, we have 2 likes, and this is working nicely. So we can like from multiple accounts and it is good. So let's tweet something also. This is a new tweet from another account. Hit enter, and you can see this is a tweet from another account. This is our username, and all is good. We can also order all the tweets. You can see we should have a new tweet here. So if we hit refresh, you can see we have a new tweet here. We are not able to see this data in the real time. We can also implement the real time feature by using real time updates from Supabase, but that's for another part. We are just building a basic web application, and you can see our like feature is working nicely. Similar to this, you can implement a bookmark feature as well. We are not going to do that in this video because this is a same thing similar to like feature. You just need to create a row inside your bookmarks, and you have to delete a row from your bookmarks table, and that's all about bookmarking a post as well. So now our like feature is done. What we are focused on now, we have implemented posting, we have implemented liking and disliking. Now we will implement the reply feature. So anyone can reply to this post. We will implement a reply feature in the next video. Thank you.